You need a village. Without a village, you need a prayer. You need a prayer, you need a miracle. And that's one period. Just that, please emphasize the village. Welcome to my podcast, Sip and Sala, where we lift the lid, spilling the tea on all things marriage, womanhood, and motherhood. So let's sip some tea and pray we get through another day of this shit. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Sip and Sala, and today's episode is called Motherfucker. It says Mother Lover on the title. Yeah, I was trying not to be abrasive. That was me making an effort, so you're welcome. Those who are watching, I hope you can't see the makeup stain on my shirt. I turned, it went on there, and I'm upset about it. But anyway, we're here to talk about motherhood. We're here to talk about all the shit that nobody talks about because it's so common. It's so common. I don't know. Maybe it's not common, but I always had these opinions and stuff about motherhood. But I never really said too much because, I wasn't a mom. I'm not a mom at the time. But I always was a bit like, I always looked at motherhood with a bit of a side eye. I always was a bit like, it was never that appeasing to me. I used to look at people and be like, oh, their kid's cute. Some mums, right? Some mums, like, I remember seeing mums when I didn't have any kids and then, like, they really pride themselves on how many, like, they see their kids. The kids are like, their kids' hair's finessed. The lines, the boxed off, they've made 15,000 ponytails to like some hairstyle. Their shoes are shining like they're in the army. Like, beautiful, but I could, like you can see that sense of pride is transitioning from the child onto the person. I could never understand that. I can't understand that. Well, I couldn't understand that anyway. So, like, I have a sister too. She was always doing her daughter's hair every 6 seconds and like plumping up her dress and shit. And I used to think, what the fuck? Like, nah, I can't be doing this. This is not my idea of fun. Like, that really what beautiful children, beautiful kids, but not my idea of fun. Like, I don't want to be doing the same person's hair 5 times because they can't, like, not knock their head against the wall. You understand? However, we're here to talk about motherhood today because I've always had this opposite opinion or unpopular opinion or maybe just one that no one's really spoke about, and I became more honest with my opinion and my thoughts about motherhood when I became a mom. So let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. What is motherhood? Anyone who's looking at this cup, don't tell, I'm going to say far, don't tell Jai. It's his Christmas cup that he made me in 2021. Can you see it? I will try and show the camera. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible mom because we don't actually use these. We don't want to break them, but I don't want to wash them up. But anyway, here we are. That is motherhood. Again, it's motherhood. What's motherhood? What is the thing that changes within you? What is the thing that makes you go from a pregnant lady or someone who wants a baby or, a parent who's trying for a baby in any which way to a mom? Why is it as well that this is one thing I could never understand? Teenage parents, lots of people, especially middle-aged to older society, you'll say, oh, like when I had my babies, the first statement I ever made and will continue to make for the rest of my days was, hats off to those teen moms. Because the second I had my baby, bearing in mind he was planned to a T and I'd waited a whole 5 years worth of marriage, my mind just shot over to those women. I thought, you women are gangsters. I couldn't imagine doing this at 16 years old. I could not imagine going to college and doing the whole 2-hour routine of brushing his kids' teeth and trying to fight them to go to nursery before you go college. Hats off to you, because I could not imagine. But then you get other people of society like, no, teen moms, yeah. They're basically known as like the girl who's made a mistake or the girl who's, letting her mom... That's another... I was speaking to somebody the other day and I literally mentioned teen moms are like thugs, full-time thugs, and somebody was like, but they don't look after them, the moms do. How do you know? How do you know? What takes away that teen mom's title, which I magically get because I'm 26 and I'm married and I have a house? Why do I get more gratification or celebration? And then also, like, why is it, like, if you're 36 plus 40, people are like, she's only having a baby because she's about to kick, like, it's the final days. Like, Why can't it be a choice of hers? Why can't it be because she could not be fucking arsed before she got to 41, or because she just didn't want to do it before then? There's always like a stigma behind. If you're a teen mom, you must be a massive slut. I don't agree with that, but that's what people think. Well, lots of people, sadly. And if you're like between 20 and 30, you're the ideal person. You must have had your head screwed on from the day dot, which is madness. And if you're above that, you must be like the last of the bad bunch, like, you know what I mean, like the last pick, which is madness. It's madness. I don't understand why people feel like they have a right to put that weight on us as moms. I don't get it. And me, I fall into the beautiful bracket, and I call bullshit. I'll be honest, I call bullshit, because talking of that and timescales and right timing, when is the right time? When is the right time? Realistically, most people will say, don't have a baby when you're a teenager. I agree. But if you have a baby as a teenager and you look after your baby, props to you. Me, I could never have a baby as a teenager. I plan my baby to the conception, to the delivery, everything. I said I'm having a March or April baby. My baby was due on the 29th of March. Had him on the 5th of April. Listen, you can't make this. I'm a control freak. I'm a control freak. And even me, when I had my baby in the pandemic, in lockdown, 17 days in or something like that. The first thing I thought was, if this baby was given to me a day earlier, I might not be so sane. I do not. Why does nobody talk about how ghetto this is? Like, this is really ghetto. Like, it's cute at first. It's so cute. Yeah, it's cute. You can clean your gaff and have 9 times out of 10, you either have a really troublesome baby and then you get an easier one after that, or you get a really easy baby and the second one's a freaking nightmare. Funnily enough, mine was really easy. I could clean my whole gaff and he'd just sit there, watch me. I literally walking around each room, taking me his bouncer. Didn't give a shit, but still, it was the emotional process. It was like, shit, I gotta stay alive now for this person. I don't want to die. I gotta go to work. Like sometimes you think, I can't be arsed. I'm knackered. I don't want to go to my job today. When you're a mom, you kind of don't really have that thought, because you're like, I can't do anything that would risk anything that would impact them. So it kind of puts more mental burden on you. You think, oh, can't be asked to go out today. I'd rather just have a duvet day. No, you can't, because babe don't want to lay in the duvet. And kids just like to be outside. An absolute violation, I know, but they just do. Even in the freaking rain and come snow, do you know what I mean? So it's the mental weight and the mental impact that nobody talks about. Anyone can wipe a baby's bum and anyone can learn how to, sing tunes, how to learn the baby rhymes. It's the other shit nobody talks about. So when is the right time? I don't know. I don't know if there's a right time for anybody, but I'm sick of people making out like anyone before 25 and married is a devil worshipper, and anyone above that is, like borderline last crumbs. Bullshit. If I could freeze my exact kids line, guarantee those children and guarantee that there are no harm, and I could pause them on ice and pick them up at a different time, I would do it. Judge me all you want, I would do it, because I lived a great fruitful life before I had kids. However, I have no one to look after my kids. My kids are with me 24/7. I've spent one night away from my children in almost 4 years. About to be 4 years. And the one night is when I was having breast surgery. Breast reduction. That's my only excuse. That's the one time I went wild. And trust me, it wasn't a great night at all, because I was in agony. It was horrible. But that's another topic. So it's like, now I'm with them every day, I realise how many things I want to do, because I'm not going to wait for them to be 18 or to be 12 where they can look after themselves. No, I say look after themselves to a degree, I'm not waiting for that. I feel like my mum used to be like, I'll just wait. I used to get so pissed off in my mind. I would never say it, obviously, but I used to think, I wish this woman had fucking lied, spark up her bottom or something. Go outside, honey. Get outside, because at the end of the day, like, you grow your kids, you teach them to communicate. They start school and nursery and you say, did you make any friends? And when they go to their first birthday party, you're almost prideful that they've made a connection well enough to have an invite somewhere, and then they end up having play dates, so you sculpt your children to be what you're not willing to be. And then what? They get to 10 years old and they want to hang out at their mate's house to play Xbox, or hang out at their friend's house to do each other's makeup. Then you're doing what? Sitting in the gaff? By you what? No. I wasn't willing to do that. So, I'll be honest. I thought I lived a fruitful life, but now I have kids and I listen to them scream every single day, 24 hours a day, and they don't scream every single, but you know, kids are kids, boys are boys. They literally fight over their own shadow. Like, not fight, but he's looking at my pastor like, come on, that is my reality. Beautiful, but that's my reality. And the more I experience it, the more I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta see the world, man. I gotta do it. Well, you guys can come with, but I need to see the world. I'm not putting my life on ice. So yes, if I could freeze them, I would freeze them and get them in 5 years' time when I'm 32 years old. I think 30 years old is like a beautiful age to have children, and any time before that or after that is also great. But I just want to almost like not promote, but push the idea of being 22, being 23, or as long as you've got a boyfriend, or as long as that's shit, that's bullshit. That's such bullshit. Like, that is not the be all and end all as to why, as to what is the perfect time. That does not create the perfect time at all. Like, I did things on how I thought or what society told me. Like, I was the only one out of my siblings who didn't have my children out of wedlock. Not just anyone who has, but for me, it was very important I didn't. I wanted the same surname as my kids before I had my kids. That was important for me. I refused to have a child before I could drive because I fell off the bus with my niece. I had all these things, right? And even still with my checklist, I bought a house before I had a baby. I was like, if I buy a house, then I won't be so... I grew up in a maisonette, so I almost thought, let me try and avoid what... Guess what? The train, no matter what your circumstances, rich, poor, maisonette flat, 4-bedroom house, doesn't matter. That train is that same, it approaches you at the same speed, and nobody tells you that. Everybody makes out like, oh, you'll say, thinking about having a baby, Edna, and Edna will be like, have you got a boyfriend? Yeah, but oh, perfect. Then have you got a house? Yeah. Well, then you're all right. You're all set. You're not all freaking set. It's much more than the physical, the mental. It's the mental. So yeah, when is the right time? Fuck knows. But I don't know if it's in your 20s, mate. When you, as soon as you get married, and actually, I think about it. The way that a child impacts relationships. Most of the people I knew were all having babies around the same time we were having our first baby. None of them are together. Not one of them. Because the way it changes your relationship. Like me, Farhan always jokes about it. Like, and I remember now I'm mentally a bit more mature. And I don't think I was ever at a point where I was that immature around him. But I used to dote after this guy. I used to think, he's so perfect. I remember like taking Snapchats when he's sleeping. And then I had a baby and I was like, oh hell no, I ain't babying this baby. This is some other woman's baby. He ain't about to act like a baby. And I swear to you, I wanted to punch him in the throat. I literally wanted to get this man in a chokehold every time he breathed. Because I was like, yo, you better not be breathing in my direction because I got a whole baby I'm looking after here. He's in the same room as me. He's looking after the baby too, but I don't care. I don't know what it was. I don't. Or, now I'm thinking about it. Wait. I'm in love with this guy. I get married to this guy. I'm more in love with him than ever. We travel, we buy a house, we have friends, we party. You know, we just have a great time together, right? We have a baby. We're like, poof. We get the love eyes, not the old Snapchat or Bitmoji emoji. I don't know. You know what I mean? The heart eyes, right? We get the heart eyes. We're like, taking our pictures for Instagram as you do, because if you didn't post it there, it didn't happen. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the damn truth. Or if you don't post it there, it was a negative pregnancy. Yeah, that's society these days. So we were all posting on Instagram. We didn't post that much about our first pregnancy, but you know, we shared our news. Oh, decorated our nursery and all this overpriced wallpaper and all the rest of the shit. I honestly think, now I'm thinking about it, it was a massive come down. You have this thing, you built this thing and it's all going so well. And yeah, you have your tips about who does the laundry, but you're like, wait, this is everything I ever dreamed of. You know, we've agreed a name, we've got a nursery, and you get this baby who cries all the time. He has not got the same level of patience for me as he had before, and I don't have the same level of patience for him. Certain things I would have happily done for him before, like, have you eaten, honey? Let me cook for you. Have you eaten? He says no. I say, well, you better fucking grow up and eat them because I am not about to feed your ass too. This baby crying all the time. My boobs are down to my knees. And that, oh my God, I do not know how we survived that first baby. I'm telling, no, that was God. That was God. You know what? It had to be God. I'm telling you, we both was like, yo, I think we've run our course because it was a lot. Nobody talks about that. So everybody says, get a boyfriend, get a husband, and it'll be great. And nobody really lasts. Most people don't last when they have a baby because it's a shit show. It is like a massive like come down off a drug or oxytocin or something. Especially I breastfed, and nobody told me this. I breastfed exclusively with the first baby for 6.5 or 7 months, something 6 or 7 months, right? So that baby did not eat anything that wasn't mine. He did have bottles, but they were from me. I'd pre-pumped. I was literally pumping. Oh my God, if I could go back and get those stories and fucking pictures that I used to take of this, I was so proud of this. And it's sad, really. It really is quite sad. But I was so proud that I'd get like fucking 40 ounces of milk out a day. Like, trust me, I could have opened my own factory. You would have all been drinking it from the Asda. Nobody would have. It was so much milk. It was madness. But this is again where I had the breast reduction because it was fucking humongous. But that I stopped breastfeeding. I remember I had my first baby. Everybody was like sending me messages, which just felt really unsolicited. Like, just know I'm here for you if it's not working so well, and don't feel like you have to be brave all the time. And I'm literally looking at them like this, thinking, what the fuck are these people on about? I'm living my best life. I'm driving a Range Rover with a baby. The whole shops are closed, which, yeah, COVID was a terrible time, but in actuality, it was a great time for a new mum. It's a new mum like me anyway, who's not that much of a nervous wreck. Because I thought, thank fuck I get to go shopping without talking to loads of people. We don't have to fight over the fucking tissue. Well, we were fighting over tissue roll, wasn't we, back then? But, I hate going to the shop and, like, people are, like, rubbing shoulders. I hate it when I'm in a supermarket and people, like, scrape past me, or if I'm in a queue and they're like, in my neck. So COVID was perfect for me. I could go to a park, it's empty. You know what I mean? Like, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. Before anyone starts, didn't break any rules. I followed the rules, all the guidelines, all the rest of it. But, gorgeous. Didn't even see a healthcare professional for fucking 2 years. Nobody weighed that baby since the second he left my vagina. So, but for me, oh man, blissful. Absolute blissful. But nobody told me breastfeeding, when you stop, it's better to wean, not just for the sake of your breast and the pain that it causes you, but for the mental impact. I did cold turkey. I stopped at 6 months because my 6 months was my guideline was I pumped enough to last him to 12 months, but he can like mix because he's eating now, so he's having lots of food, he's having way less milk. So that's what I did. And I swear to you, I went like this. I've never in my life had a bigger drop in mental health than that. Nobody had a fucking clue what I was talking about. I literally was like, yo, there's something wrong with me. Calling midwives, they don't give a shit. Something's wrong with me. Talking to some of the internet, they were like, never heard of it. But it's only when I made a public post, which Reels then became a thing, it made a reach, and so many people were like, so that's what was wrong with me. It's only 2 years later I found this out because it was just hell. It was absolute hell. Hell. But nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about the mental impact. As long as you've got a boyfriend, as long as you've got a husband, you'll all be fine. That's a lie. That's not the truth. That's not the truth at all. So let's just clear that up. But what did we start this with? What makes you a mom? What is motherhood? That's another thing. When I had my first baby, I remember this used to be my wardrobe actually, and it was literally wall to wall, just the whole way around this room. It just fed the whole way around the room. You literally walked in and it was everywhere. Like, not everywhere, but this was my wardrobe. The first thing I did is I ripped out every single item that I felt as though I didn't represent motherhood. Why? Why did I do that? I'd never wore a cardigan in fucking 24 years of my life, but did I go and buy 6 from fucking 2 Sainsbury's? Yeah, I did. Yeah, why? Like, but a society looks at you and go, no, you look great. You know what's mad actually? I think about it now. How many people said to me when I had my first baby, bearing in mind, I wasn't in my best nick. I really wasn't. And not does it mean weight-wise, but I wasn't in my best nick. I carried my baby weight for way longer. And it's not as though the weight is the bad thing, but if you don't want the weight, it's how it makes you feel, then you're not going to be as confident as you would be if if you're in a body that you actually like and enjoy and are happy to represent. And how many people who said to me, you look so great, you look so great, you look so great. And I look back at these videos now and I'm like, who? Who? And this time I said, nah, hell nah, I'm not falling into that again. But why do we do that? Loads of us feel like we have to dress like mums when we become moms. Somebody said the other day, this lovely girl, I can't remember who it was. She said, I really am so happy just to have wear a crop top. Haven't worn a crop top in 9 months because my big old belly. And then she said, wait, can mums wear a crop top? Wear what the fuck you want. Wear what the fuck you want. Who gives a shit? You know, one day you're going to look like mutton dressed as lamb. You won't be able to wear the crop top. Respectfully. I don't care what anyone says. One day. Nobody's putting an age on it, but one day you won't be able to wear it. So wear the damn crop top. Wear the tight ass jeans that show your bottom rear end if you want to wear that. Let me tell you something now. You can't go back. And when you've got to start wearing brooches and whatever else the old ladies are wearing, you can't go back in time. So when people say what really makes your mom, and this is another, what really makes your mom? What is it? What do they say? Mom tuition. I'm just going to go a bit closer to the mic to talk about this. Bullshit. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Because firstly they say, I remember I'd been awake all night in labour. And then I obviously went into active labour in the middle of the night, had my baby, he'd had a poo inside of me, so I had to stay in. So I stayed in, but I'm a bit of a freak, so I didn't really want to lay in the bed with all the other women who were like out cold, like coming out of their like whatever drugs they'd had in labour. Me, I didn't have any drugs, so I'm like, you know, I'm literally like, is it a cat in the headlights? A deer in the headlights? I'm like that, like watch all these women like dead on the bed, like they're like out, and I'm just like, what the fuck has happened to these women? Like, and it was COVID, so everyone's masked up, and it was like, oh my, so. I refused to sleep in that hospital. So by the time I got home, you're talking 36, 40 hours without a wink of sleep. I walk in this house with this baby. I have a cup of tea. I eat a bit of food with my husband. And I go to the bed. And I'm like, remember putting this baby at the end of the bed. And I'm like, good night, night. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Can't believe it's our baby in the bed. When he cries, I'll get up with him. You know, like I said it to my husband, like, not what you see on the movies, but kind of what you see on the movies. Because, you know, you're like, you kind of want to be the best. You want to show that you're a good mom, and I suppose he wants to show he's a good dad. To me, we're proving ourselves to each other a little bit, I felt, in the first early days or whatever. When he wakes up, I'll go get him. I close my eyes. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't have heard a burglary happening. I woke up a whole 11 hours later. This man is like, had this whole baby. This is, thank God for the intuition of my husband. I woke up 11 hours later and I'm like, my baby, oh my God, what's happened? He's like, just relax. My husband had it, but you know what my husband did? And that kind of unlocked, maybe that's why I felt so terrible about my body. My husband had put this baby, laid him next to me in the bed while I'm sleeping, and just let him suck the milk out my boob while I'm sleeping, let him finish, take him off. Took him downstairs, bring him back. This whole baby fed off me. I had zero clue. You understand? Not offended by it, not upset by it, because that was our routine for the whole 6 months. My husband did 97% of the nights, and he just did it that way. Because I never wanted him to use my pre-pumped milk when I'm literally like, why would you use my hard-earned work when the tap is up the stairs? I would just wear a big top, and then you can literally just pull down. I'd be out cold. Everybody was like, my baby had the first cry in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. I was dead. And I remember the first day, not the first day, but the first time my child was sick. You have no clue what's wrong with that kid. You think, is there something wrong? And it's like, my mum tuition is telling me something wrong, but actually I don't know if I'm being a hypochondriac. But nobody will say, but I don't know if I'm being a hypochondriac. You understand? Like, yeah, you do have an intuition, but to me, if you spend 100% of your time with any individual, you're going to get to know who they are and what is, yeah, come on, bro. I'm sick of it, man. People, you have this intuition. But what's also really jarring is mums who say, did you not have an instinct? Like, how would I know? Like, you do. There is a thing as mum tuition, but I just think it's heavily relied on as some sort of superpower. It's bullshit, man. Bullshit. A tired individual is a tired individual. That's just that. And you know what? You're as tired as you was 48 hours before when you had no baby. Facts. So let's just cut that out. You're a human being trying your damn best. You're spotting signs in this baby and triggers in this baby because you've got to know them. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, but is it a superpower? Because for those who don't spot them, they're almost like, what's wrong with me? Where's mine? I remember when he was first sick. I remember going to hospital, they were like, I was like, look, he shouldn't be like this. But that wasn't because I had mum tuitions, because he shouldn't be reacting to me like this. I can't remember what was wrong with him. Sick. Oh my God. He was sick all the time. Like, I'd never met a baby be this sick and that amount. Like, I'm talking saturate himself 9 times, 10 times a day. Like, it was chaos. It was chaos. And it was like, I'd never seen any baby be that sick. That was nothing to do with nutrition. That's because, that's just obvious. What's wrong with this baby? You know, and it's like, thank God for your mum's instinct. Nothing to do with being mum's instinct. It's just common sense. So that's that. That is that. And that's on period. And I'm gonna people. Some of you might watch this and be like, "No, we have got that." Me saying that is not taking anything away from you, but there's so many times where situations happen and people are like, "Why didn't I think that was gonna happen?" Because you're not a superhero. Yeah, we are kind of superheroes, but we're not. We have all this pressure on ourselves that we should know exactly what's going to happen to our children, how they're going to walk, how they're going to talk. We should know the issue before they have the issue. We should know the danger before they experience danger. It's physically impossible. It's physically impossible. And when I was talking to you all about, you know, how I felt as well in my first postpartum body compared to this time. And this time I've actually gained a bit more weight since losing it, but the bounce back... Lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. One thing is, if you bounce back quick, I wish I had your genetics. Not that I've been fucking eating like a squirrel. No, nobody cares if you've been eating like a squirrel. It's either they wish you had your genetics, or if you don't, it's because you're lazy, because nobody believes you. Like, it's chaos. The bounce back is not real. There is some people who are naturally and organically a little bit more gifted in that department, where they do, if you're naturally small as a person, let's do the math, right? Let's just do the math. If you're naturally quite a small person anyway, if you're naturally a size 4, 6, right? You're probably going to lose a lot of your baby weight or your tummy very quickly because you never really had a bit of a tummy in the first place, let's be honest. But what I will say is the way you carry and the outcome of your body from the first baby in comparison to the second and anywhere after that, it does have a bigger hit. I got a bigger pouch than I've ever had. Bigger. So the bounce back is a lie. I hate to say it on any review, it's a lie. You can work as hard as you want, but you know what? Oh, that's another thing, you know, that mom pouch. I was literally saying to Father the other day, the mom pouch. We all literally Google, how can we get rid of the mom pouch? Do you know what's mad? I literally said the other day, I was telling someone, oh, I had a breast reduction. And I was like, but they were talking to me before the breast reduction comment about, you know, my diet or something. And I was like, I'm trying to watch some of this shit. I try not calorie count as such, but I try and just be mindful of the calories. So at least if I'm going to eat shit, I've been mindful all day or all week or all month. You know what I mean? And then anyway, half an hour later, we got around to the conversation of, I've had a breast reduction. She said, why don't you just ask him to chuck a little tummy tuck in there? Excuse me? Why on earth would I do that? Well, it's just, why on earth would I... This is my analogy on this whole kangaroo pouch or whatever we all call it. That bit there. Let me move my thing because I've got it. It's there. I think we all have this. Now I'm a mom, I find myself looking at girls who have not even had babies like, can I see one? I think when you've never seen your stomach stretch to the size that it does when you have a baby, you never really see the little lump that everyone and most women have. 97% of women have, right? But I think when you watch your belly stretch and grow, you see how big it can stretch. You can't unsee that pouch again. Do you know what I'm saying? Even on a good day, you're like, that pouch. I actually think we've all got it. Those who had kids, those who haven't had kids. But I do think, yeah, it's more prominent when you had a baby and you lose weight because then you're left with stubborn fat and loose skin or skin that maybe needs a bit more of a tightening, you know what I'm saying? But we've all got it, and Don't get me wrong, different circumstances, different births, different defects of labour cause certain tears and muscle issues with people, but we all have that pouch. Anyone who says they don't have that pouch, lie. Pull your trousers the whole way down. I want to see. Get them all the way down. Show me, because you're lying. So that's it. Period. But, like I said, I've got 2 kids, so I try to look at it from both perceptions. I try to look at every thought or impression on motherhood as what did I think the first time versus what do I think the second time. And then also the whole having another one. I don't know if this is conspiracy theory, but is it delusion to have another one? Is it delusion? Do you delude yourself in creating a different reality in your first experience? Do you tell yourself, let's do it again because it was all great, and you forget that you actually hated your partner? Do you forget that you was miserable? Do you forget that you had sciatica for 7 months and it was miserable? Or another thing that is so common, nobody talks about it. Maybe it's not a thing, or maybe it's a thing that nobody's talking about until I'm saying this right now. Society. Lots of other moms will all say, when are you having your next? Realistically, do the maths. Does it matter when the fuck you're having another baby to them? Do you think it will stop them from going to bed at night time? Do you think, after you answer that question, whether it be yes, no, today, tomorrow, or next Wednesday, do you think they will think about that moving forward? I actually think it's a trick. I honestly think it's a trick. And the reason why I say that is because I think when people have one, right, and they have another, they realise how hard it is to have to. It's one baby is way easier than having 2. Facts. Don't matter whether you have a great baby or not, because you can move around freely. When you've got 2 babies, 9 times out of 10, even if you have twins, they're not the same child. It's like a push and a pull. So when you've got a push and a pull, the 2 kids, and then yourself, who's doing something else, it's like a whole tango. You know what I'm saying? So I do feel like, and then you get the one who had the third, and they're like, the third one just slots in. Are you lying? This is my analogy. We all walked into a muddy puddle, right? Motherhood's beautiful. Please don't think I'm like hating on motherhood, but it's a shitstorm. Nobody says it, but it is. But we all walked into a muddy puddle, right? My wellies started sticking a little bit. That was my first baby. The analogy is my first baby, right? But I told myself if I go a little deeper, I can splash a little higher. I walk a little deeper, second baby, right? You go into the third baby, fourth baby, fifth baby, any more after that, your boots are getting stuck, right? These bitches with 5, 6, 7 kids, 4 kids, right? They're like, come on, come on, come on. And they tell you, have some more. A full house is a happy house. They need a sibling. Da, 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 da. My opinion is, I do think that you won't regret giving a child a sibling if you're a single parent. If you've got no means or no way to have one, of course, don't go find someone off the street to have a second baby, of course. But if you've got a mean to and you're thinking, do I, don't I, 100% recommend it. However, soon as you meet the bitches who are like, have another one on your second, and they don't say anything other than, it's a great experience, or the ones who have had 3 babies, 4 babies, have some more, it's great, oh my god, come on, surely you want a girl, that's another thing. Or if you've got girls, surely you want a boy. And you know what happens the second you have that second child, that third child, that fourth child, whatever child it may be, or even the first child, soon as you have the baby and you see that same woman or group of women who are selling it to you, asking you, wondering, expecting all these things from you, they look at you. You don't even need to say anything. They'll go, it's not easy, is it? Yeah, it's really difficult. Nobody really tells you about the difficult part. These bitches, do you know what happened? They got their foot stuck, but they wanted your ass stuck in there with them. Don't believe people. Do not believe people. People who make out like you should do it because no. Don't get me wrong. Kids are beautiful. You can have such great experiences. 4 kids might bring a different dynamic and a different level of beauty. I agree. But it's also a different level of hard work. Every child is hard work. Every child is another level of responsibility. Every child is another one you've got to worry about their health. You've got to worry about their safety. Bullshit. These women, I thought, you know what? These women were evil. They're evil. You know, every time people say to me, do you not want a girl? I say no. They say, why? I say, I am a girl. I don't want another version of me. I grew up with a sister and we were fucking nightmares. I don't know how my mom didn't end up in a straitjacket. And that's not me saying all girls are terrible, but naturally, most girls are a little bit more pedantic than boys. They are. They're naturally, you know, boys are a bit more like, oh, I don't know. I just, from my experience anyway, boys can be calmed a little easier than girls. I feel like girls, they kind of go on a bit. I'm a girl, man. We went on past the point. I don't know why. I don't know why. And yeah, I'm giving a bit of a stereotype at the minute, and some girls aren't, but the majority, I don't have time. And plus, I remember having my first baby, Jai. I didn't know his gender. We agreed that we would find out the gender when now I know he came out. We had a boy name and a girl name. We went there with 2 dummy clips with both names on there, and my husband announced the gender to me by when the baby came out, telling me, "Oh, meet such and such," which turned out to be. He said, "It's Jade," right? I spent 9 months straight stressing, how the fuck am I going to do this girl's hair? You all might be like, you've got really soft. No, I don't. Hair is a lie. It's a lie. My hair was fucking chaos growing up. My mum was a white woman. I don't know how she did it. Because she had no experience before me and before my sister. And my brother didn't really have like curly hair, like no afro hair, nothing like that. His hair was more coolie hair. And even if I knew how to, I don't think I've got the patience, like I said, to be doing that hair 20 times because she's on the floor rubbing her hair against the carpet. Do you get it? Like, when people ask me, do you want to try for a girl? No. Why don't you have another girl? I don't want another one. And when I want another child, I want it to be purely a thought and a need from my soul and not because society is asking me to. Because at the end of the day, when you have that kid and they just say, checkmate, they move on with their life. They continue eating their shit sandwich and they literally watch you eat yours. And that's just that. Facts. Facts, 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 facts. But while we're talking about other women and other people and support, can we get a little emphasis on that fucking village? Can someone emphasise the village, please? Emphasise the village. People say, it takes a village to raise a baby. No, you need a village. You need a village or jeopardise your mental well-being. Facts. Big facts. Me and my husband, we chose to move here way before we had children. We are nowhere near anybody. We're nowhere near it. And you might be like, well, why don't you go down to see your parents? By the time you get down there, spend 4 hours driving down there, it's late. Or it's like they're ready for sleep or a nap or whatever. And because like as one's growing out of naps, we've got a baby now. And then it's like, why would I just dump my kid on them while they want a nap? And then I'm just like, if they're fucking sleeping, I might as well just sleep with them. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm bored. I don't want to do it anymore. You know, if they were around the corner, it'd be a different story. But that damn village, man. That village. Without a village, I thought I could hear one of my kids. See, that's another thing. That's another thing. This is real, you know. When I'm in the shower, I can hear cries all the time. These children will be 25 and I'll hear them crying. The phantom tears. Is it? Do you see? Insanity. Motherhood drives you to it. I can hear phantom talking. They're in beds, bunk beds, behind a gate, behind another gate, and I'm imagining that he's standing outside this door. No? See, this is motherhood. Well, welcome to phantom cries, phantom noises, phantom everything. You'll be in the shower watching it, and you're like that. You run out the shower, the baby's like this. It happens all the time. But that damn village, you need the village. Whether it's your neighbours, friends, family, brothers, uncles, aunties, you need a village. Without a village, you need a prayer. You need a prayer, you need a miracle. And that's on period. Just that, please. Emphasize the village. Don't be a Leah. For once, please, don't be a Leah. Because, and many other people, there's so many people who say, I'm in your exact situation. I have nobody. And the weight of it is getting your child up every single day, being the one to get them up at their bed, wash their face, brush their teeth, put their clothes on, take them to the school, pick them up from school, feed them their dinner, take them to their dinner, pick them up, take them back to bed. Doing that, and you might be like, well, that's motherhood. No. Anyone who says, well, that's motherhood, you have not had your kid 365 for 4 years straight. I lie, liar. Because it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and expecting different results. And that is motherhood, because you do the same thing every single day and you expect them to get with the freaking program, and you think as they get older, they'll have less tantrums or less things to moan about. But no. You think it's hard now because they can't communicate. When they can communicate, it will get easier. Lie. Because when they can communicate, they're going to find more issues as to why they're crying or why they don't want to brush their teeth. And then even when they can brush their own teeth, they're going to find reasons as to why they don't want you to double check and brush their teeth for them to make sure they ain't got bad breath. Which is now my current scenario with my 4-year-old. He refuses to let me double brush his teeth. Listen. This is a definition of insanity. And that's on period. But motherhood is a wild ride. It's a crazy ride. And it's one that I feel like most people, they enjoy, but I do feel like lots of people feel like there's a line you can't step out of. I feel like loads of people just, like if you say to a new mum, how's it going? They're like, yeah. First thing, you know what? Just try this to any new mum. Don't obviously challenge them. I won't need to like make anyone feel uncomfortable, but for your own sake, say to a new mum, how are you feeling? And they'll say, yeah, they're sleeping all night now. Yeah, and they eat all the time. Such a good baby. Why is that the default answer? Why is it? Why is it? It changes us as people. It changes us. It changes how we react, how we respond to stuff. Why is that our default thing? Why is it like, yeah, they're doing great. They sleep all the time. Or it's, yeah, not getting much sleep, but it's all going great. Why is it not? How is it? Yeah, it's great. Exactly what I kind of anticipated, but the fucking washing is way more than anyone prepares you for, especially if they've got colic or reflux where they're just throwing up on themselves all the time. I'm starving because I can't remember the last time I actually ate my 3 meals, the very bare minimum that life expects you to follow. They tell you keep hydrated. I don't know where my bottle of water is. It's gone. It's missing in action. You know, my petrol tank is on empty 24/7 because I just can't be stopping, because if I stop the motion of this car, nobody says any of these things. It's like, yeah. But motherhood changes you. It changes you. And for most people, it changes. I don't know why, but for most people, actually, I've spoken to lots of moms who say, I don't know who I am anymore, or I don't know who I can be. Like, who sets the rules? Fuck the rules. Be who you want to be. You want to go and, within reason, of course. I say within reason because, some people are wild. They go too far. But it changes you so hard, and you know what? You might not like the same things you did before, but one thing it does do is it teaches you. For those who didn't give a fuck anyway, you give less fucks. But for those who didn't give a fuck, for those who are maybe a bit uptight or whatever, you give zero. Literally, I think after dealing with the baby and dealing with all what comes with them, the crying, the tears, the feeding, the wiping, the nappies, the songs, the TV, the park trips, the baby classes, the rest of it. When you get anyone telling you anything other that's not that, you just like, don't give a fuck. You literally look at, couldn't give a fuck. Oh, did you hear about that person? Don't really give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. Own it. If you want to dress like a 17-year-old again, do it. If you want to dress in cardigans, do it. If you dress in cardigans then begin to regret it and think, I don't want to be this bitch, go back. Be who you want to be, because it really does change you. And so many people struggle to deal with that change. So many people are like, I don't really know what to do, or I don't really know how to. Do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, the only person watching and judging you that really means anything is them. So be your best self for you, because why being your best self for you? You're being your best self for them, and that is on period. But one thing that I didn't prep for, and one thing that I do want to mention in this podcast, is how your life experience changes you as a mom. And I never I suppose maybe I did think about it, but not to this degree. Like, remember I told you at the beginning of this podcast, I didn't want children. I didn't want to have children because I just wasn't really sold on that. But maybe it was because of what I'd experienced. I just thought, don't really want to become one of them. That was me being young and delusional and naive. But I just thought, I don't really want to fall into this category of mums, you know. But since having children, I realised how much my life experience has impacted me, my experience in motherhood, and me as a mom. You don't realise that what you go through, even as a child, changes how you see, view, and raise your child. What you experience as a teenager does the same. What you experience, even as an adult, your job, it changes you as a mom, and no one freaking talks about it. And you're so conscious about not repeating patterns and not carrying over behaviours. You're just like, it changes you. But most importantly, this whole podcast was just to talk about just a few things of what people don't want to talk about, to point out the things that some people might think but just are not really considered okay to think. And it really is just more of a message to say, enjoy your version of motherhood. Whether your version is at 16, whether it's at 26, whether it's at 36, enjoy your... Anyone who makes out like they're following a blueprint or they have a great blueprint in their family that they're doing, bullshit. Follow your blueprint. If you don't have a blueprint, create your own. Dance the beat of your own drum. Nobody else is dancing the same rhythm you're dancing. And if you're dancing and you're happy, your child will be happy. And if they're not one day, it's their dad's problem, and that's it. That's that. So yeah, that's my take on motherhood, and that's a brief take on motherhood. I do want to talk about loads of other things, but I did want to make sure we just kind of got this part out of the way, because as I said, I've spoken a bit about it before on Tala Socials, and it rocketed. Like, it went everywhere because so many people were like, yeah, thank you. So many people were DMing me like, thank you so much for just saying some of this stuff. And you know what? I'll be the spokesperson for everybody. I don't give a fuck. I told you, motherhood makes you not give a fuck. I honestly was at a deficit of fucks before I even entered motherhood. Me, I was out of control. I was out of control and missing lots of fucks. So me, right now, I'll say it. Whatever you want me to say, I'll say it for all of us, because it's the truth. And that's just that. So, for any moms watching this, you are gangsters. Period. Any soon-to-be moms watching this, you brace yourself, but you're a thug. You know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to figure it out on the way. And those who are hoping to have a baby, I honestly hope and pray with you to join this shit show. And that's not a negative thing, but it's a shit show. And those who have not yet been fortunate enough to be blessed with a child, then I really pray that you get your time. And those who've chosen otherwise, you're the smart ones. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, you're the smart ones. But anyway, if you're watching this on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe. I cannot believe the numbers. Subscribe. Drop me a like, comment, let me know, because I love reading all your comments. I'm not so great at responding so far because there's just so many channels I'm just trying to like put out there. But please drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about this podcast. And yeah, don't forget, if you want to see anything from me, let me know. DM me on Tip and Sala. Comment, let me freaking know. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your other podcast streams or platforms, then please do follow. And thank you so much. Oh yeah, give me a rating. If it's not 5 out of 5, I don't want it. And that's that. That's on period. Anyway. Can I hear them? I bet you this kid has got out of the bed and got that fucking Spider-Man suitcase. This kid in that fucking Spider-Man suitcase.